Hello friends, this is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and if you are a fan of the red-eyed, blue-skinned Chiss Grand Admiral that we call Thrawn, then I have got some wonderful news for you, ladies and gentlemen. The last book in the Thrawn prequel series is set to launch November 16th. Now, on April 1st, which, I mean, you always gotta be careful with anything just mentioned on April 1st, StarWars.com went through and said, hey, we've got some really cool information. We've got to let you know that Thrawn Ascendancy, which is the prequel trilogy for Thrawn, will end with the book Lesser Evil set to reveal, set to launch, set to debut on November 16th. Now, when I first saw this on April 1st, I was like, I don't know, man, that's a little shady. Why launch all this information on April 1st? As I went back and I looked at this, the first book in the Thrawn prequel series launched in November of last year. The second book in the prequel series will launch April of this year, 6 months later. The third book in the prequel series for Grand Admiral Thrawn launches 6 months later. So this is in keeping with everything that they've done before. So it doesn't feel like it's probably not an April 1st fool's joke, right? This is legit, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I've got to say that I am very excited about this because this prequel series represents some awesome context for Thrawn as a character and for the canon as a whole, knowing where we are going for the future of Star Wars. Now, if you're not familiar with the Thrawn canon storyline, let me introduce you to it, right? Just a quick crash course. Now, Thrawn was reintroduced in Star Wars Rebels, right? We see Thrawn as an Imperial Grand Admiral. We see him as someone trying to get rid of the rebellion, trying to take out the rebellion. And the Phoenix Squad, it's a really awesome character, right? He's Thrawn. He's back. He's bad. He's freaking awesome. He's epic. He's freaking Thrawn, guys. But what we see is a one-dimensional Thrawn. And what I mean by that is we see a Thrawn whose only goal is to make sure that the Empire achieves their goals. When Thrawn the novel came out, we got another side to the Chiss Grand Admiral. What's interesting about this, what's absolutely fascinating about this OG canon series, is it takes elements from the original storyline, from Heir to the Empire, from that original story concept, and brings it in here. It also takes elements of Outbound Flight, which was a prequel, a Legends prequel book about Thrawn. It's phenomenal. If you've never read it, 100% recommend it. It is really good. But in Thrawn, self-titled Thrawn, we see Thrawn's introduction to the Imperial fleet, right? To the Empire. We see his connection with Palpatine and Sidious, if you will. We see his rise and successes through his victories in the Imperial space, right? And it's really good. Thrawn Alliances is the next book in the series. It came out a year after Thrawn self-titled. Thrawn Alliances shows Thrawn and Vader, going on this buddy adventure, bro cop type of scenario. They go out and they're trying to figure out what's happening to this part of the Empire, also known as Batuu. But it shows Thrawn as he and Vader are going on this, quest to uncover a plot of some kind. I forget what it's called. But while he is going on this quest, this adventure, this stuff with Vader, he's having these flashbacks of a time when he worked with a young Jedi. Oh, what was his name? Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker. Yeah, that's right. Thrawn and Skywalker worked together. And Thrawn's starting to piece together some of the pieces. He's starting to see Vader, and he's like, oh, I remember when that one kid, that Skywalker kid, did that, and it seemed very interesting. It's a fascinating story. Then we have Thrawn Treason. Now, Thrawn Treason reintroduces the Chiss as a whole to the Empire. Now, they're still skirting around the unknown region, the outer limits, the outer rim kind of area. Guys, this is hands down one of my favorite books. But one of the things that this trilogy, this OG trilogy, shows us is, yes, Thrawn is all about the Empire. He is a very, very loyal person. But his loyalties also lie with the Chiss. His loyalties are also trying to help his own people. Thrawn Ascendancy Chaos Rising is the prequel to all of the events in the OG canon Thrawn book series. And what this does is it shows Thrawn as his rise through Chiss space, right? And it shows us, it introduces us to customs, it introduces us to like Chiss military tactics, and it shows us who Thrawn is, who Thrawn's allies are, and who Thrawn's enemies are. Now, at the end of the book, there is a big baddie that's kind of introduced here. And at the end of the book, we get a real feeling that there is some solid danger in the Thrawn Ascendancy, in the chaos. Right now, the Chiss refer to the Outer Rim area, the unknown regions that the Republic or the Empire calls it. They refer to that as the chaos. Now, Thrawn realizes there's something going on. Now, in Thrawn Ascendancy, the greater good.
What about the greater good?
The greater good.
We have this moment where Thrawn is going to take that. And, I mean, if you're familiar with Thrawn, you know how many people he pisses off, right? He is not someone who's like politically correct because he doesn't understand politics. He gets art, he gets like people, he gets all kinds of other things, but he doesn't understand politics. Here we get that enemy that is kind of introduced in Thrawn Ascendancy Chaos Rising. That enemy is going to continue to build and build and build. Now, the greater good, which is launched on April 27th, the greater good is going to introduce us more to some of the internal problems within the Chiss, right? And it's going to kind of put Thrawn in a unique position of how's he going to help the Ascendancy survive? Now, the final book, and this is absolutely insane to me, Lesser Evil is the title of this book, guys. Now, you've got the greater good, and then you've got lesser evil. And in concept, a lesser evil is something that's still evil, but it's preferable to, a greater evil. So what does that mean? Well, one, it probably is going to imply that Thrawn is going to set up and or do something that is going to get him kicked out of the Chiss Imperial fleet. Right. Now, we know that in old canon and in new canon, Thrawn and the Chiss people they are not okay with preemptive attacks. Right? But there's something bigger out there. And I think this is when we are going to uncover what that bigger, badder, worse thing is. And it is going to be terrifying. Now, why is this all important for Star Wars fans? Well, one, it's Thrawn. And it's Thrawn. Can I just say that it's Thrawn? Because it's Thrawn. This is going to be a great story. Timothy Zahn is a wonderful storyteller, and if you've never read a Thrawn book, you need to. If you've never listened to a Star Wars book, or you've never listened to a Thrawn Star Wars book, my friends, you are missing out, because it is phenomenal in a way that cannot be justifiably explained on a YouTube video. It cannot. It's so good. But what's fascinating about this is if you look at what's being done, okay, you're introduced to Thrawn in the original OG canon trilogy. Who is Thrawn? Who is this person? Who is this Grand Admiral Chiss from outer space or, unknown space, the Chaos region, and why is he coming to the Empire? We don't get answers there. The prequel series, We're not going to get all of the answers again, but we're going to get a lot of them as to why. And it's going to build the story. Now, here's what's absolutely fascinating, guys. We don't have a conclusion. The original Thrawn trilogy, the Heir to the Empire trilogy, with the exception of Outbound Flight, but the Heir to the Empire trilogy, and Outbound Flight wasn't part of the trilogy, it itself was a prequel to the original Legacy trilogy, or Legends trilogy. This story, this is so good. It focuses on Thrawn after the Empire. It starts with the book Heir to the Empire, meaning Thrawn is the guy. Thrawn is the guy who is left in charge of the Empire. What's he doing? How's he going to succeed? How's he going to win? It is all of this stuff that focuses around the New Republic. Well, where are we in the Star Wars universe? We're focusing in and around the events of the New Republic. Dave Filoni, the Filoniverse, the Mandoverse, all of that is going to focus around the New Republic timeline. Now, in Mando Season 2, we had Ahsoka, where she's got her, her blades, against the throat of that Night Sister, who's clearly a Night Sister, by the way. But she's got her blades against the Night Sister. She's like, "Where is Thrawn?" Now, I know you guys are marveling, because that is a spot-on impression of Ahsoka Tano. Right, Ahsoka?
Yes.
Yeah, she agrees. That was our indicator that Thrawn is going to be a major character in the coming series. We know that he and quite possibly Ezra Bridger are going to be characters that show up in that series. Then, whatever they do with Rangers of the New Republic, or whatever show they spin that off into, right? Because there's a lot of speculation that was something that they would spin off into. It makes sense that Thrawn was going to be shown in that timeline. We know that Ahsoka Tano and Sabine Wren go looking for Thrawn and Ezra at the end of Rebels. So clearly they either find him or they don't. Now, a lot of people are saying that Thrawn is going to be the big baddie of this new universe. However, I think that he's not. I think that Thrawn is going to introduce a new big baddie of the next major series, and that is going to be the Grisk, aka the Yuuzhan Vong. I just got that feeling, guys, because the Yuuzhan Vong were a major reason for a lot of big problems in the Star Wars universe, and I have 100% surety in my own mind, so take that whatever you will. But I believe that Thrawn's not going to be the big baddie. Thrawn is going to do what Thrawn does best. He's going to identify skills in other people. He's going to put them together. He is going to sacrifice those that need to be sacrificed, but he's going to do everything for the greater good.
The greater good.
Now, I don't know, guys. I am very excited for Thrawn Ascendancy, greater good.
How can this be for the greater good?
The greater good.
Shut it!
And lesser evil. Very excited for this, guys. Greater Good comes out on the 27th. I have it on pre-order already. And as a collector, you gotta know that I'm going to be getting the hardback version. I love it. I get the hardback version, and then, for my students, eventually I get like a soft copy and keep it in my classroom. This is one of the reasons why I love Star Wars. The world building, everything that goes into it. But what do you guys think? Are you excited for Star Wars Thrawn Ascendancy, the greater good, and then the lesser evil? Are you excited to see what happens to the Thrawn prequel trilogy? Leave a comment in the section below. In the section below, if you have never listened to a Star Wars audiobook, check out the link in the section below. I have Audible. You get 1 month for free, 2 free audiobooks. This will 2 free books. You get Thrawn Alliances, a lot of different stuff, and you can experience Thrawn in a whole new way, guys. But every time you sign up, you do help the channel. Even just signing up for the trial, you still help the channel, and you help yourself. Additionally, guys, in this links below, there's my Discord channel. There's a lot of awesome things. You can visit the Going Nerdy swag store, where you can get awesome things like stickers that say Leia Poppins and Dank Ferrick, or t-shirts, or whatever. But let me know what you guys think. Like, subscribe, share. This has been Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and as always, my friends, smile and stay nerdy.
How can this be for the greater good?
The greater good.
Shut it!